10 biggest lies that you're probably believing if you're trying to make money online. My name's Amanda, and I started my marketing agency over 16 years ago as a single mom with 5 very young kids. I'm also the author of Unapologetically Me and have been dedicating this last year of my life to teaching moms exactly how to make money online absolutely free, because you deserve to get out of that cycle. Lie number 1 that you're likely believing: charge what you're worth. This is probably the biggest lie that exists in the online make money online space. The reality is your worth is so much greater than anything you could ever charge for. It does not make sense that you would tie your worth or how you value yourself into what you charge online. Your worth is not based on what you make. So the first thing you need to understand is your worth, your value, has nothing to do with the amount of money you make. You have more worth than you could ever possibly charge for. The second is you don't get to decide how much you charge. It is not about just saying, hey, charge your worth. The reality is the market decides how much they will pay for whatever product or service you are offering. It is the market, the people, the consumers. Are they willing to spend the money or not? I have a client that got this advice from a coach that she had. And basically she had a few clients, but she wasn't making enough money. And this coach told her, just double your prices. And so my client went out and doubled her prices, and instead of having the money in the sales that she was already making, she lost all of her clients because they weren't willing to pay double the price. You have to start to understand how much someone's willing to pay for your product or service, and that is the price that you should charge. It's all based on how big of a problem you solve and how much pain that problem creates for the person. So quit believing that you have to charge what you're worth and actually base your pricing on what the market is telling you and what people are willing to pay. The second biggest lie is that your business model is a business. I see all this time in my online community called The Mob, when people come in and I have a question that says, what business do you have? And they say, I have an e-commerce business, or I have a drop shipping business, or I have a digital marketing business. The reality is those are business models, not businesses. If you have an e-commerce business, then the question is, what are you selling? Who are you selling to? E-commerce just means that you are selling something online. Unless you're Shopify, which I doubt you are, you don't have an e-commerce business. You happen to be using e-commerce for sales. That is the method in which you are selling. So you need to figure out what product you're serving, or what problem you solve, who you're solving it for, and the product is that. So understand you don't have an e-commerce business, you happen to be selling using e-commerce. You don't have a drop shipping business, you have to decide what product that you are then drop shipping. Why are you picking that product? Just because you choose to use fulfillment of a product that someone else created doesn't mean you have a drop shipping business. It just simply means you're using drop shipping for fulfillment. You have to actually put the work in to build the business as well. And the same goes for digital marketing. Unless you, like myself, are getting paid to do marketing for other businesses, you don't have a digital marketing business. You are learning the skills of digital marketing. You see, you have to understand that digital marketing is simply selling something online. Any sort of marketing online. It's great that you're learning those skills, but don't let someone tell you that you have a digital marketing business. You simply are learning digital marketing skills. The reason why this is important is because oftentimes these courses and coaches and gurus are trying to sell you that you can start an e-commerce business or a drop shipping business or a digital marketing business, and anybody is telling you that, they fundamentally don't understand the fact that the business model is not your business, and it is so much bigger than that. So instead, figure out the problem that you solve and who you solve it for, and then actually go out and build a business around that. Lie number 3. If you build it, they will come. This is not the field of dreams. If you build your product or service and put it out into the world, people don't all of a sudden come out of the corn and start buying. That's just simply not the way it works. I had a client one time that came to me, and she had started this amazing photography business because she loved taking pictures. She was very, very, very good at it. She's like, I started it because I was super passionate about this and I liked doing the work. I never realized I actually had to do the sales and marketing. You need to understand that sales and marketing is the biggest skill that you need to learn when you're starting your business. And anybody that tells you you can just build it and put it out there and you'll all of a sudden get sales is absolutely lying to you. That is just not the way it works. So you have to master the marketing and sales in your business if you want to grow your business. Because the reality is, if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. You just have a really expensive hobby. Lie number 4, that this should be easy. It's a tale as old as time, or at least as old as Amway, where we're saying, hey, you can just make $10,000 a month doing very little work, and all you have to do is sell this, right? Recruit people, all these sorts of things. And now we're seeing it in the quote unquote digital marketing space. This is not true. When you set out to build a business, as I said, sales don't just happen overnight, and you have to put in effort. It will be difficult at first. It will get easier, but you have to expect it to be hard. And the reality is, hard is good. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everybody would have a business. If it wasn't hard, everybody would have sales. If it wasn't hard, everybody would be a millionaire. But it's the hard that helps you have the success. So you have to expect the hard. Quit pretending it's going to be easy. And for those of you that are trying to sell this, hey, get rich quick, or if you've heard it, just understand that these companies have made all of their money preying on people that are desperate, preying on people that are sick of living paycheck to paycheck, preying on people that need a better solution, mostly moms. And the reality is they prey on moms because you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you work outside the home, you're criticized because you're missing things and someone else is taking care of your kids and all those things. And if you don't work outside the home and you work at home taking care of the kids, then you're criticized because you're not contributing to the finances. You're not helping. You literally cannot make the right choice. So moms are preyed on in this because they're trying so hard to do it all. So remember, you can build a business. Just expect it to be hard. Lie number 5 is that everyone is an entrepreneur. I absolutely do not believe this. I believe you are a born entrepreneur or not. It's in your DNA or it's not. And the reality is, not all business owners are entrepreneurs. I truly believe that most, if not all, entrepreneurs have to be business owners because we tend to make really terrible employees, but not all business owners are entrepreneurs. Understand that you don't have to be an entrepreneur to actually start a business or a side gig. I love what Gino Wickman in Entrepreneurial Leap gives as the 6 traits of an entrepreneur. And if you don't have these traits, you're not an entrepreneur. The first one is visionary. You have big vision. You continue to just want bigger things and make a huge impact in the world. You're passionate. You are super passionate about what you want. The third one is you're a problem solver. You see every challenge as a way to get better. You're optimistic about the things that you're going to encounter, the difficulties and the challenges and the obstacles. Number 4 is you're driven. Enough is never enough. You always want more. Number 5 is that you're a risk taker. Entrepreneurs have a high risk tolerance. They're willing to take risks that others wouldn't take. And number 6, you are responsible. Entrepreneurs understand that there is no one to blame but themselves. They take all the blame for the success or the failure. Let me be clear. If you don't meet those 6 traits, especially if you're not super passionate about what you're just doing it because you need to make more money, that's fine. You can start a business or a side gig and have success. It just doesn't mean you're an entrepreneur. Number 6, every product or service is a good idea. I have seen this so many times where people basically, because they like the product or they like the service, they think it's a good idea and they build out this huge product or service and spend money or time or both doing all of this, and they forgot to validate if anybody else thought it was a good idea or not, if anybody else was willing to spend money, if anybody else was willing to pay for it. Because again, just like how much you can charge, the market decides if it's a good product or not, whether people will buy it or not, whether it's solving a problem, and a problem that people are willing to pay to have solved is actually what makes the difference. Number 7, everyone should or can be a coach. I absolutely hate this. I call this like the COVID coaching era. The reality is, it is what is imploding the coaching industry. There were coaches charging to help you be a coach, and you're not actually understanding what it takes to build a business. You just all of a sudden are a coach. Let me tell you a quick story. I was with a mentor of mine, and it was one of the first times I met him. And we were having lunch and getting to know one another, and he goes, "You should have a coaching business." And I was so offended because I hate the idea of what coaching is. It feels like lies. It feels like a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing telling you what to do. They have no actual background in it. And here's the thing. There are really, really, really good coaches. There's a reason why I call myself a mentor, not a coach, because I have the marketing experience. I've done it. I know what works and I know what doesn't. But here's the truth. If you haven't done it, if you can't actually help someone get a certain result, then you shouldn't be a coach. You should learn the skills first. You should do something that you're really good at. I always say the measure is, if you're a life coach and I wouldn't trade my life for yours, or if you're a business coach and I wouldn't trade my business for yours, why would I want you to coach me? You haven't proven that you can do it first. And I think this is really important when you're deciding if you're going to coach other people or not. You have to be willing to show that you can do it and that you have done it first. Number 8, that you should never give away anything free. Now, I have all sorts of feelings on this because I actually believe in a giver's gain and subscribe to a giver's gain mentality. I think that it is a really good idea. But you hear people saying that you should never give away anything for free, your time is valuable, all these sorts of things. But the reality is, if nobody's willing to pay you for your time yet, it's not that valuable. And I know that sounds harsh, but it simply is the truth. So we can offer things, even our services, for free because we get to learn. We get to actually get people results. And if done correctly, you then get testimonials so that you can actually go out and get sales. Don't be afraid to give your services away for free or products away for free, to actually make sure that you can test them and make sure that you can get the results you say you can get, and then get those testimonials. It makes your sales so much easier. Number 9, it's this idea of imposter syndrome. The reality is, most people say they have imposter syndrome, but they just haven't actually done the thing they're saying that they can do. That isn't imposter syndrome. It's flat out lying. If you haven't done it, if you say, "Hey, I can help you make money online," and you've never made a cent online, that's not imposter syndrome. You don't have the proof yet. Get the results, get the proof, document it. That is the way that you overcome imposter syndrome. And number 10, finally, is that you should do it alone. If I hear someone talk about building their business and all these sorts of things and say, "I did it all myself," I will show you a business that could have done it faster or better if they hadn't done it themselves. The reality is, alone is not a badge of honor. We treat it like some amazing badge of honor, and it simply is not. I always say one of my biggest mistakes I made in my business is I waited too long to hire. I was trying to do it all on my own. And I know I would have been able to grow faster and do more if I had hired sooner. And then the reality is, you need feedback from others. You have to be able to either pay or find free resources to learn, to be able to understand what you need to do. And that is exactly the reason why I founded The Mob, a free community for mom-owned businesses over on the school platform that shows you everything you need to do to start, build, and grow a business. You get the training, you get the learning, you get that, but more importantly, you get a place where you belong. A place of other moms on this journey with you that understand what it's like to have the successes and the failures and the ups and the downs and be trying every day and still not understanding. One of my favorite things recently over in The Mob was someone had posted how she was getting discouraged in posting on social media. And I wasn't the first one to comment. It was other members that were encouraging her and telling her to keep going and saying, "It's okay that you had a bad day or a bad week. Let's keep going." We need that in our life. We need our groups that help keep us accountable, our groups that provide a place where we belong, and the place where we can get feedback and we can try things and it can feel safe to fail. So I invite you to join us over in The Mob. And until next time, remember, You don't have to believe just because someone said it.